Why do you think foreign investors should consider Brazil as a country where to place his or her investments?
Well, I think Brazil is such a large country with so many possibilities. I think it's hard to avoid being there. It's just like China, United States. These countries have so many opportunities that one needs to learn what is there, discuss with local expertise, and try to find a suitable place where to invest. It's very important to be there.
Are there many Italian countries trying to make business in Brazil?
So we have around 1,000 Italian companies in Brazil, the most important company as well as small medium enterprise. Brazil is second market after US, so it's a strong presence. We have in Italy a lot of technology, and in Brazil we have appetite for technology. So we have 300 companies in terms of machines and technology. We have a good experience in agribusiness. We have good experience in tech. So Brazil is a huge market in terms of geopolitics. Now is better than China, India, and South Africa because it's the only country with democracy, without dependency of oil and gas, and as well without conflict. I'm talking about religious and ethnic conflict. So it's a good opportunity in this moment.
What does the law firm market look like in Brazil?
Well, so we have a very dynamic market. We are talking about a huge market with huge law firms. The big law firms which we have in the Brazil's Magic Circle, we are talking about 1,000 plus people. So we have a market that tries to be kind of a bridge between what we have in Latin America, in the US and Europe, in a very dynamic way. And being a country that receives so many investments, and so many investments also on the green agenda right now, which is one of the keys also from Brazil. It's been a thrill to see new things developing. So I would sum up saying that it's a big, vibrant, and always searching for innovation market.
Which do you think are the sectors of the Brazilian economy which have a highest growth in the next 5 years?
I'm convinced that agribusiness will continue to be the most important sector generating growth in Brazil, as it was the case for the last 15 years. Agribusiness will continue because we have a short we have always demand on products that are in Brazil produced, where Brazil is a champion in the world in producing soybean, in producing orange juice. And moreover, during the COVID period, the companies that survived the crisis are even more able to produce. They gained in efficiency, and this will be reflected in the next few years with a higher production. And so, for sure, agribusiness will continue to be the most important sector in Brazil.
Does your job as an in-house is really different from Portugal than Brazil?
Okay, I can say that of course there is some similarities because I'm in charge of the legal, all the legal matters of Grupo Visabar in Portugal. I'm also in charge of the legal matters pertaining to the Brazilian subsidiary, but definitely there are some huge differences that we need to address previously in order to reach success on the advice. We need to be aware of a legal background, and the legal background from Brazil is completely different from Portuguese. Although it's based on a civil law, there is a couple of influences mainly from US, which means that even talking and speaking the same language, the Portuguese one, the meaning of the legal terms and the way they apply the legal terms are completely different. So I externalized in Brazil much more legal matters than in Portugal. Another issue, because we as in-house lawyers are not mere lawyers, okay, we don't only deal with the legal risk, but we are also seen as business partners. One thing that I also be aware is about the business environment of Brazil, and try to capture the business culture and the business practices in order to be sure that the legal solutions that myself with external lawyers we managed to reach can be aligned with the business needs and can be applicable on the most effective and successful way.
Brazil is recognized worldwide as one of the most complex countries in terms of legal and tax requirement. Is this an impediment to companies considering investments in Brazil?
No, I think absolutely not, because what is important is for a foreign investor is to be aware of complexities, seek for proper legal and tax and financial advice, and it proves for foreign investments to be effective and successful. And second, I think that specifically for Italian investors, it should be considered that there is a double tax treaty to avoid, double taxation between Italy and Brazil, which has several points of attention and several tax incentives for Italian investors, and this proves to be even more interesting for Italian investors.